Well, we all, if not all, but most of us have observed the news that Emmett Till, this woman who took part in the death of Emmett Till's death back in August of 1955, has passed at the age of 88 from cancer. What kind of cancer? I don't really know. But for those of you who don't know who she is, she was the woman who was famously known in a way to help start off the civil rights movement. Not not intentionally, but inadvertently start off the civil rights movement. Let's start off at that. She the one that built the spark of it. And what she did was lied on Emmett Till, or either claimed that Emmett Till said and did something to her, such as whistling at her and grab her and tell her that he would like to go out on a date with her and everything, from what she said in court. And this was back in the year of 1955. Jim Crow was still going on at the time. And Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy from Chicago, Illinois. He visited his his uncle and his cousin in Money, Mississippi during the summer of 1955. I guess he was working in the fields and stuff with his cousins, just doing a little farm work and just hanging out. One day he went to the store with his cousins, and I guess they went to get candies and snacks. It was alleged that Emmett Till saw her and began to talk with her, and he's famously known for whistling at her. Well, they Emmett Till didn't really know much better because he's from Chicago. He may have said certain things, which was probably more likely harmless. And the whole crew from the store left the area and rushed out. And I think one of the big mistakes that they made was they never told their uncle what went on, because that probably would have saved Emmett Till, because they would have fled and leave the place. Well, after the situation that happened in the store, about like I say like 3 days later, in the middle of the night, they knock on the door. And when I say they, I mean the people who is affiliated with Carolyn Bryant knocked on the door seeking answers for who was trying to make a move or a pass at Carolyn Bryant, and they claim it's called harassing and everything. And they had guns and flashlights. The uncle tried to bargain with them, reason with them, saying that he don't really have much sense. He don't know any better. He's a kid from Chicago. He don't really know what's going on. He don't have good sense. And even the aunt want to offer them money, those two men money. They kind of refused it and decided to take Emmett Till out there in the back of the truck and just to go on and travel. They never heard of Emmett Till since, and people were searching for him. Days later, they find his body under the water with a cotton gin fan tied around his neck. And news got out, and of course, news got to Mamie Till, and she came down south, seeking to see her son. And the biggest thing that she have ever done was opening the casket and letting the world see what they did with him, mutilated him. And that situation is what kicked off the civil rights movement, because during that trial, those men who were responsible for killing Emmett Till were found not guilty, and they were let go. And to rub it in, They even confessed to killing him because back then they had a thing called double jeopardy law, which means when they confess to certain things, they can't be charged with it. And they confessed to killing Emmett Till. Well, fast forward to in recent times, of course, those men who were responsible for the death of Emmett Till, J.W. Milliam, and I try to remember this other guy name, James W. Oh, Roy Bryant. Yeah, they died of cancer. Both of them died of cancer, and if I'm not mistaken, one of them had the most vicious, very very painful cancer. It was like very painful, and of course it took them out, but they was suffering with that disease. Whoever, which one of them was suffering with that disease that was very painful, and he died, and they died pretty young. Carolyn, on the other hand, she lived through the civil rights movement. She lived through so many times. Just imagine 1955. That's like almost 70 years ago. She lived through everything. The civil rights movement in a way kind of popped off because the lies that she told, and all the icons and leader died. So in a way, she kind of created a trickle down effect. And if you were to look deeper into this, one might even say that Carolyn Bryant, the action that she did actually changed America. Because you got to think about it. Rosa Parks was influenced by Carolyn Bryant with that Montgomery bus boycott. Her don't want to give up her seat because she thought about Emmett Till and how he didn't get justice. She thought about that, and it bring out icons like Dr. King, Medgar Evers. So in a way, you can kind of, I know that might sound crazy about saying this, but I don't care. You can somewhat thank Carolyn Bryant because if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't have like you wouldn't have the civil rights movements, which would translate into you probably wouldn't have as much rights as we got today. And when I was surfing online, went online surfing, went through my phone, and I was looking at Facebook and saw certain posts, and I see a lot of people celebrating that she died at 88. Now I understand why they will want to feel joyous and glad because they don't like Carolyn Bryant based off of some of the things that she have did to Emmett Till. Well, the thing that she did to Emmett Till, which was lie, and by her knowing the danger that she can place this little boy in, she didn't care. Like I said, I understand that, but what I don't understand, there's a lot of black people, and this never been us, basically celebrating and already made claims and saying that she's going to hell. Well, last time I checked, only God can make that decision where a person go. Because you got to think about it. You talking about nearly 70 years, like almost 70 years ago since that happened. And I'm pretty sure that she may have repented. She more likely felt so sorry and bad because for her to write a book or do a memoir of the situation, even confess to lying about it, shows that she may have felt sorrow of it. And if I'm not mistaken, she lost a son. And she said when she lost her son, they made her think about Mamie Till, who is Emmett Till's mother. And I think one of the men who killed Emmett Till or responsible for it, he had nightmares of not nightmares, but he had dream about that of him watching him. I heard that piece of information from somewhere. But the fact that us and people celebrating the death, my belief is I don't really celebrate someone's death and also make a claim that they're going to hell. They're going to burn in hell. I don't, like I said, I don't really agree with that because we aren't God. We aren't God. And who knows, throughout that time, maybe Till may have repented. She may have given her life to Christ and claimed God as her savior, and possibly she could be in heaven because she's not the same person, and I'm sure of it. She's really not the same person as she was in 1955. You're talking about, this is 2023. Of course, she before she died, she was old and sickly and could barely walk, and she was staying with her son and even protecting her because a lot of people was going after her because they found an arrest warrant in 1955, I guess, in the old house she was in. And in recent time, people was going around the states looking for her. But yeah, that'll do it for this. She died, and like I said, I don't really agree with us as just us as an individual, not just us as a community, but because we never been like this in the black community. But I'm talking about people in general celebrating someone's death or saying that you glad they died, burn in hell. No, because you gotta be careful how you curse other people because the same thing can happen to you.